What's up guys, Black Rose Duelist here, and today I have a new top 5 decks, and this time it's August 2016. This month we have a brand new pack, which I guess changed a little things, but we're really going to wait and see what the impact of the new pack has in the next coming weeks, and definitely after the ban list comes out, because once the ban list comes out and impacts the format, I'm guessing that a lot of the top tier decks we've seen for the last 6 months are going to go down a lot, and a lot of the new decks, like the Dark Magician, Metal Foes, a ton of the new decks that we have coming in this next set, and the last set, will finally have the light that they deserve. Because as of right now, it's really hard to beat Monarchs and Cosmo. The only way you can really win is playing the best 3 decks. So I think once those decks get hit with this new ban list, the old decks and the new decks that haven't really been able to shine will be able to. Also, if you want to check out my new Pokemon channel, Nico and Me, I'll have a link on the screen right here and also in the description below. I do Let's Plays, Top 5s, news, and way more, so make sure to check out that if you want. Also, if you like Pokemon Go, I do Pokemon Go on there, so yeah. Okay, so number 5, debuting at number 5, we have Metal Foes. This deck is basically the good Ignites. They're Ignites with a fusion element in it, and they're really, really cool. I feel like the next set in 3 months will finally make this deck a really good deck. I think once the top decks get hit, this could definitely be a contender for the number 1 best deck. A lot of people use it with the Gem Knights, even with Ignites, and this deck is very versatile, I would say. I saw a lot of forms with Magispectors, which is pretty cool, making this deck pretty viable because the Metal Foes are very aggressive. You can get out a lot of damage, but then also combining it and adding the Magispectors to it, you get a lot of defense because the Magispectors can't die by card effects, they can't be targeted, and they get the traps and spells that negate summons and banish cards and whatnot. So, very cool that this deck can have some spotlight despite the format being kind of bland right now. The fusions obviously don't have the greatest effects, but the fact they can spam them and make really strong beaters really fast makes this deck pretty good. And number 4, our Hot Shot debut, meaning that this is the highest debut of the list. We have Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is such an interesting deck to me. The deck actually was had a spark a few years ago with their structure deck, but now with all this new support, the deck can finally blossom. Gain some new support in this set and a lot of last set. This deck can really spam the 3000 beaters, fusion and synchro summon a ton, and really dish out tons and tons of damage, which can be really good against Cosmo because their beaters are so high, they can just overpower them with their beaters. So, and the same with Monarchs as well. So, Blue Eyes can have some great matchups. They're very powerful. The only problem is when they get a banned hand or they're really prone to traps, I would say. If you have a Floodgate out there, it's going to be really hard for them to get out their big beaters, which will really leave them strangling. Number 3, the same spot as last month, we have PK Fire. This deck is a deck that I don't think will ever die, and I mean more towards the Brain Abyss side. The Phantom Knights side isn't even, I would say the Phantom Knights are good, they just make the Brain Abyss way better. It's basically Brain Abyss with a new engine, I would say. The deck is just gonna never end because they're such good floaters, and the good thing with them is every card you have holds weight. There's no card that's just a combo piece. There's no card that just uses itself to Xyz summon. Even if you use the monsters to Xyz summon, you're still going to be able to use them later on in the duel. Every card has a card in it, if that makes sense. When that card dies, you'll get another one. It holds weight. Does that make sense? Whenever a card dies, you're going to get rid of another card in your opponent's field or hand. Whenever a card dies, you're going to be able to add a card to replace it. The 5 cards you start off with, you're probably never going to lose 5 cards in your field or hand because they always replenish themselves. So that's why I think the deck is really good and why it's going to last a long time. This video kind of feels more like a funeral than a top 5 because this has been basically the same top 5 list since January, and it's kind of boring, but in a way this is kind of going to be the end of a lot of these decks' fate. I feel like PK Fire is going to get hit pretty bad. It's going to end up being Brain Abyss again. Cosmo and Monarch are going to get hit really bad. So I feel like this is going to be the last month where these decks are actually going to be the prime contenders for a top deck. So that's why this video kind of feels more like a funeral than it does a lively list, because I really feel like these decks aren't going to be as prevalent next tournament as they are right now. And this deck in particular is the one that I feel has the most resilience to getting hit. I feel like no matter what, they will always be relevant and they will do good. So yeah, I really like this deck, despite a lot of people find them kind of annoying. Number 2, same spot as last month, Cosmo. Cosmo, you really can't do anything against Cosmo. I've talked about Cosmo so much in the last year now. It really is making my throat hurt. Like, I just can't anymore. Like, what do I say about Cosmo? They, you know what Cosmos do. Nothing changes. They're not like PK Fire or Monarch or even Blue Eyes or Metal Foes where they adapt. They're just them. I guess now you have, like, the Fire King version. Like, there really isn't any diversity in this deck. Nothing ever changes. They're just normal. Summon a girl, banish it to summon a ship, destroy something, destroy the ship, get something else, attack, you're dead. There really isn't much to talk about. And that's why I feel like the deck is going to get kind of demolished this list. Because they really don't have any adaptability. They're just them. You know what I mean? Like, once the deck gets hit, there really isn't anywhere else to go. It's just that deck. Whereas PK Fire and even Monarch, especially PK Fire, the deck can add more like Speedroids. They can add other rank 3 components. Cosmo can't do that. The only thing in the Cosmo decks are Cosmo. So I feel like with this ban list, they're really going to have nowhere to go after they get hit. Where they get hit is where they're going to get hit, and they're going to be stuck with that hit. And yeah, that's it. Number 1 for 2 months now is Monarch. Monarch is very good against basically everything. It just crushes them on their spines. It's kind of sad, honestly. But I can't really complain because, I mean, I hate Monarchs. I've never liked Monarchs. The only time I did like Monarchs were when they were used with frogs. And not to be negative, but I feel like they finally, like, they've been around for like a decade now, and I feel like they finally got the light and the tier 1-ness that they deserved. They finally dominated a format, and with that said, they don't have to anymore, and I can't wait for this deck to die. It stops everything. It's annoying. It has floodgates. It has super draw power and super searching. It plays big monsters, and then you can't get rid of them. It's just an annoying deck. Who likes Monarchs? I know a lot of you probably like Monarchs, but it's just not fun to play against. It really isn't. So, thank you for watching. This has been the top 10 decks of, top 5. I'm getting delusional. Top 5 decks of August. And I really hope you guys like this list. I mean, it's pretty predictable. I mean, maybe the Metal Foes and the Blue Eyes and Monarch and Cosmo positions could be altered a bit, but not even really. The format really hasn't changed that much. I'm just really excited for the ban list so we can get some change, because I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh could be fun right now. We have a lot of new decks. Blue Eyes, Metal Foes, Dark Magician, even like the new Spiral and Subterrors, Clipport, there's Black Wings even. Like, there's so many decks right now that could be good. It's just Cosmos and Monarchs are so good that there really isn't any reason to not play them, because, I mean, especially Monarchs are really cheap, so, like, it's just really easy to play those decks, and I think once the decks get hit, new decks will finally be able to prosper. So, that's what I'm hoping for with this ban list. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for more Yu-Gi-Oh deck profiles. I'm gonna get a really cool deck coming soon, so I really hope you like it, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.